Hello and welcome back to another Project Assemble live stream with myself, Dwayne the Captain Goffer, and Nick the Thwip Media, my co-host. There we are. How you doing, my friend? You're good?
Yeah, doing well. How about you?
Not too bad, not too bad. I had a very, very busy week this week. I had a Leicester Comic Con, which I had a massive amount of time fun with and everything. So but we're all gearing up towards Christmas now, and it's the Christmas lights which are on today here in Leicester. So
Nice.
we'll have that for the kids to enjoy later on that lot. But yeah, it's not been too bad. How about yourself? How have you doing?
Yeah, not bad. Just been wrapping up some school stuff. It's kind of coming to an end in the next couple weeks, so yeah, I'll be going on break soon, and then just taking some time off from things and just relaxing and taking in the holiday season. Yeah, I'm very excited for what you got to show us today.
Honestly, I'm buzzing for this. Absolutely buzzing for this. I'm nervous, but excited at the same time, sort of thing. Like I said to you, I've written page after page, and I've even run out on my book. Like my book, in my little thing that lot is completely bleeding like full of everything. I've literally ran out of all the pages to go. So I'm having to do it Nate's way with on the computer and everything. I'm hoping it goes all right and nothing crashes and messes up like we did last time. So touch wood, we're all good.
Awesome.
um, but as always, we'll have the half question. How you doing, my friend? What we got?
Yeah, so before I get into that, I just wanted to say I've got kind of an announcement for my channel. I have officially made the YouTube partner program. So
Hey!
at least the first tier right now. So I am able to accept super chats and super stickers and all that for our live streams. So this, as of now, is the first live stream where anyone can feel
Oh,
free to send a donation or whatever. So
brilliant!
yeah, so thank you to all the viewers who got me to this point and all the support from channels like yourself and all the other ones in our little support group and all that. It's been a very long journey to get here, but it's well, I guess not long compared to other people, but it was like I was so close, then it went down, and then I've really just built it up over the past like 2 months, and it's finally hit that first tier. So I'm feeling happy about that. So
Bless
yeah,
you. Oh, that's brilliant. I'm over the moon for you. Well done, my friend. That's great.
thanks. And yeah, so I've got one more tier to hit, and then I'm fully monetized on this channel. So that will be
Nice.
awesome. So for the icebreaker question, this one you might need to think about for a little bit.
Oh,
What is your favorite MCU poster?
oh, Jesus wept. Oh, right. Oh, can you do that? Can you have a film that's not come out yet?
Yeah, yeah.
Red Hulk one, the
Oh,
Captain
the
America
Brave New
shield.
World.
Yeah, just seeing the Red Hulk's hand around the shield like
Oh,
that.
that one. Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
I thought you were
Honestly,
talking about the hand on the shield, and he's like pushing
no,
it back. Okay.
no. I prefer the shield and just seeing his fingers just over the top of it. I thought that was just
Yeah, that's a good one.
it's just chef kiss. The other one I was thinking of. Oh, pardon me. Is Deadpool and Wolverine.
Okay. Which one?
Just as the oh, I don't know. There's loads that I
Like, there's
like.
the
To be
one where
honest, that
he's
like
crossing the katanas, and he's got the like reflection in the blades, or Wolverine's got
yeah,
the claws, and it's the Deadpool reflection. That
that's
one.
the one that comes out of me. Yeah, the claws and that lot, and obviously, it's so good. Honestly, so. I
Nice.
might be recency biased with them ones, to be honest, but I just them two just immediately come to my mind. To be honest, straight away and that lot. If you're going back in the back of the old ones, maybe Infinity War. To be
Okay.
honest, we got all the heads and that lot, and it's all like mystical sort of thing. Yeah, back in the days of the original lot, but yeah, that. I'll give you three then. I'll give you three treats then.
Yeah, I've got a few myself. So, like first I'll say like the Infinity War poster is good, but to a certain point, those like floating head posters where it's just like a bunch of floating heads, it kind of becomes like there's not a lot of effort put into it. It's just copy paste here,
No.
here, 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 and that's basically what all the like Infinity War and Endgame, like those two posters were just
Yeah.
heads everywhere. So aesthetically and like appealing wise, it's like it works, but like compared to the other ones, there's so much more, I guess, better made and like composition wise. Like the first Avengers one comes to mind when it's like the battle ruined like street, and then you got Iron Man doing the handout, and then everyone's in the background like after
Yeah.
like the fight or whatever. The Civil War one is really good with all of them like staring
Oh
at each
yeah.
other
I didn't even
on
think of the
going
Civil
down the
War one. Yeah, of
sides.
course.
Um,
Yeah.
oh, there's another one that I had it and now it's gone. What is it? Um, Phase 3. Phase 3. Oh no, Phase 2. The Guardians of the Galaxy one, the first one.
Oh,
Where
okay. Yeah, yeah.
that one like they all showed the characters in a really good way, and then it's not like too overcrowded. It's not too busy and kind of like distracting. It's like everything's right there, and you don't need to look around too much around, like, and especially the Infinity War one, there's people everywhere, like
Yeah.
looking all around it, like you can see like the people are tiny on that poster. So those three come to mind for, I think, the top three posters maybe for me off the top of my head.
Yeah. No, that's fair enough. To be honest, yeah, that's some good posters there. To be honest, like I said, I think my more recency bias because just power like that sort of thing. But yeah, they're really good ones as well. I do like the Guardians one.
Yeah.
Really do like the Guardians one. The Guardians one, thinking about it now, is like really nice. And I don't know how I didn't think of the sudden Civil War one. It's even just like shadowing me in the bleeding background. I didn't think of that.
Even just the one,
But
I think it was the teaser poster with, it's like behind Cap and he's like holding his shield up and Iron Man's like reaching over his shield and looking over and there's like sparks
yeah,
everywhere. That one's really good too.
yeah. Did not even think of that. Oh dear, that's showing me up there. I can't believe that. Right, anyway, on to my phase 6. Right, I'm hoping as long as everything don't go tits up. So let me get my notes up. So you're all still good? You all can hear me?
Yep, still good.
Right, and here we go then. Phase 6. My first film is Iron Man, Demon in a Bottle.
Okay.
So Tony Stark is devastated today. He has lost everything. He's lost Stark Tower, and everything's been decimated in New York. And he now needs to rework his way from the ground up. With doing this, though, he does turn to drink, and everything he thinks is just no way back, and it's just nothing for him to like comfort him with. So he turns to drink. With him now turning to drink, James Rhodes, now becomes the new Iron Man, taking it away from Tony because he feels like he can't fulfill the Iron Man image. But with this being Tony's lowest point, Justin Hammer feels like he can now really again punish Tony now while he at his lowest point. He starts to buy stocks in Stark Industries and becomes a 50-50 holder in the company. With him having so much power, he starts to rename some of Stark's areas and offices Hammer Industries and starts to give equipment more and more to lesser villains just to encourage them to take part and take advantage of the destruction that's happened in New York after World War Hulk. The new Iron Man is confronted by a team of 3 villains. We have the Melter, Blizzard, and Whiplash. These combined villains are easily able to beat Rhodes off and continue to cause havoc because Rhodes is not used to the more advanced technology that Iron Man has got compared to his War Machine outfit. With this Iron Man being defeated and everybody knowing Tony is Iron Man, he is taken off the board of directors for Stark Industries, and now Hammer has full control of the company and renames it Hammer Industries again. Tony receives this news and wants to confront Hammer about his basically, what's the word? Like complete control he has of the company. But as he confronts him, he is too drunk and just gets fobbed off and escorted out of the building. With the help from Rhoda and Pepper Potts, they manage to get him clean and manage to build him back up and get him fit enough to be in the Iron Man outfit, Iron Man uniform, armor, sorry. With War Machine's help and Iron Man itself, he manages to defeat the villain team and get Hammer off the board, with linking him to him giving the way to the villains. And they manage to slowly but surely rebuild Stark Industries back up. Now, a post-credit scene, a humanoid person called Sam Alexander is from a group called the Nova Corps. He's heading to an alien planet to warn them about this godly force heading towards them. As he gets to the planet, the aliens there start to fight him, thinking he is an alien threat. While he is trying to talk to them while fighting, this giant form of a phoenix becomes apparent in the sky, and all of a sudden it dives down toward the planet and it is decimated. Luckily enough, though, Sam is able to escape, and he goes back to Nova Prime to call for help. That is my first film.
Very interesting. I was not expecting at all Demon in a Bottle to be like a full-on like inspiration for the whole story, because obviously the Iron Man 2 kind of tapped into that as like a side plot kind of thing, but this is like a full-on, like it influences the entire thing, and that's very interesting. And having Rhodey take over until Tony's good to come back, I think that's a cool approach. The Melter and Blizzard, I can't picture who those villains are.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I can't picture who they are, but that's a cool set to kind of change it up a bit and give like lesser known villains, I guess, a chance to shine. And Whiplash, obviously, people know, so that's cool too. Yeah, your Nova kind of post-credit scene with the Phoenix, was not expecting that at all, in, like for an Iron Man movie, but that's cool. Was Sam the one in Avengers versus X-Men? Because Nova's the one that tells them it's coming, right?
Yes.
I can't remember if it's Richard or Sam though.
I want to say it's Richard, but I can't think that. I'm thinking about it.
Well, anyway, it's cool that you got Sam in it, because you don't have Richard at all in this universe, don't you?
No.
Okay, so yeah, it's cool that Sam is the first one. I'm more of a Richard fan, but yeah, Sam's cool too. So I'm curious to see what involvement the Nova Corps will have with this incoming threat.
Well, you know me from previous phases and stuff like that. I like to give, like we were saying about off-screen arcade, I like to give the lesser villains more of a chance to shine out and go, look, these are villains as well. They're not really mainstream. They're not really like out there and everything, but just look at them. They are there. They're part of the history. Just let go for it, sort of thing. And Demon in a Bottle was one of them ones that I've really always wanted to done properly, sort of thing. And I've always liked Demon in a Bottle, like the poster as well. And I'll always write sweating out of his head and thing like that sort of thing. So
okay, I just looked up Melter, and now I know who that is. Blizzard. Let's see. Okay, that one I don't recognize. But Melter, yes. Now I know who it is.
But yes, it's just nice to give them lesser one there, and it's just spreads the love a bit, because I don't want to, it's going to be the Mandarin, because you think the Mandarin, you can't have the Mandarin face road there. It's got to be more of a domineering effect sort of thing. But but that's my start to that.
Nice.
So, second film is, now some of these will be like titles that I've come up with, because I'm trying to channel me inner Nate and come up with nice, decent titles like that. So, this second film is The Fantastic Four: Family Divided.
Okay.
With the revelation that Reed was a part of this group deciding what was right or wrong, called the Illuminati, the Fantastic Four is quite rightly divided amongst themselves. Reed arguing amongst the others that he was doing best what was best for humanity, and he was doing the right thing. Sue being conflicted, but now admits that she is now pregnant and stays by her husband's side. The Thing and Johnny not so much. They feel anger towards Richard about leading this other separate group, and thinks that they can't really trust it. And them two make the call to, in essence, substitute Mr. Fantastic and Sue from the group. They name themselves the Future Foundation and recruit Spider-Man and also She-Hulk. But at first, She-Hulk is very dismissive and doesn't want anything to do with Reed because of what she has done to her cousin now that he's been imprisoned. Luckily enough, though, Johnny and the Thing managed to convince her, and she joins the Future Foundation as well. While they're working with others in New York to try and put things right after the events of the Werewolf Hulk, a newer threat appears amongst the stars. This is Ronan the Accuser. After receiving reports that this world and its people could be a threat to the Kree Empire, he has come to sentence them. With now the help of this mysterious figure, Captain Marvel, they join forces and attack Earth and the Fantastic Four. But Captain Marvel starts to be very reluctant during the fighting because they are literally only protecting their planet, and there is some good amongst these people. Not all of them are bad. This leads to a fight between them all, and the Future Foundation are defeated and beaten. Ronin and Mr. Captain Marvel, feeling quite reluctant but also disappointed, feels like they have won. This brings to the attention. This battle brings to the attention of the Inhumans, knowing that they are from the same Kree Empire, and they start to intervene as well as Mr. Fantastic, seeing his friends and family being beaten down. The combined effort of the Future Foundation, Mr. Fantastic, as well as the Inhumans, they're all able to beat Ronan as away, as well as Captain Marvel. Warning: if they come back to Earth, they won't go without a fight. With them being beaten, and Captain Marvel starts to question and dismiss Ronan of what he has done, Captain Marvel is imprisoned for, in essence, not fighting hard enough. In the post-credit scenes, the Inhumans are now setting up on Earth and trying to rebuild their home here from where it was previously on the moon. They start to set up this place and home of operations in Greenland, where they actually find another Inhuman city, surprising to them all, called Orland, and they are met by their leader called Lash. That is my second film.
Nice. It's cool that you kind of introduced the Future Foundation there, because that's something that I was actually considering in mine.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but I never did it. So I guess you beat me to that too. But you also beat me to something else that I was considering for my next set of movies, which is the pregnancy of Sue Storm. So yeah, so you beat me to that too. So yeah, that's cool though that Ronan is a Fantastic Four villain in this. I wouldn't have really linked them together, but
okay.
it makes sense though. And yeah, having Marvel come into it, obviously he was introduced at the end of your last phase, so that's cool that now he's a main player in this. And yeah, I'm curious to see what comes of, if Franklin's the first one, right? Or are they twins?
Yeah. No, Franklin was first, and
right,
then it was...
So
yeah.
I'm curious to see what role he could play if, there's that time progression in your phase here, because he's a big figure in the comics. So yeah, I'm curious to see what you got coming with the Fantastic Four in the future, and what the Inhumans are up to. And you said Lash was the character?
Yeah. That's another one that I never knew.
Okay. Right. Okay, I recognize him from Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., so yeah, that's interesting. I don't know too much about him, but I'm curious to see what you're going to do with them.
Well, there's another one as well that I always thought I know they come to Earth and they stayed a bit on Earth and I was like, well, where did they actually settle, if anywhere, and that lot? And then I found out there was actually an Inhuman city here on Earth, and he was the leader, and it was
Okay.
like a very like, oh, we don't trust him, he's bad, and the city's bad, and all that sort of thing. So as I was delving deep down, I was like, right, I'm having that. I'll bring that across. I wanted like all these effects as well. I wanted to have consequences from what happened in World War Hulk. World
Right.
War Hulk can't just be a one and done sort of thing. The lasting effects, even from this and the other ones as well, sort of thing. All of them have been a knockdown effect. So I was quite like, yeah. And then I was like saying, I was channeling my inner you. That's probably why I caught you out on them two. And I was like, what would Nate do? What would these be his big inspiration? And I went like that. I was like, yeah, there we are. I've got him.
Yeah, so you beat me to two things there, so I'll have to try to top that.
Right. Well, my third film is coincidentally Captain Marvel.
Okay.
After being imprisoned by Ronan the Accuser, he manages to break free and escape, heading back to Hala, the Kree homeworld. He tries to convince the Supreme Intelligence that the Earthlings, as well as the Inhumans, can be allies and not enemies in the distant future. This angers the Supreme Intelligence, and the Supreme Intelligence lashes out and attacks him. Here he is also attacked by a being called the Stranger. They all have a massive battle, and Marvel manages just to only escape this. But while he's escaping, he gets blasted into a new zone, the negative zone. The post-credit scene: after Rick Jones got injured at the end of World War Hulk, he's being treated at a special Shield hospital. They tell him that while he's being treated, that he did get actually infected with some of the Hulk's blood, and in doing so, may become a new version of the Hulk. That's my film there. Only a Diddy one, but that's my film there.
That's cool too. It's interesting that you have this Stranger now because obviously I had him in mind. So it's cool that we both have him now in our universes. Yeah, I'm interested to see what Marvel plays in this phase because I know what it's leading to based off of what you've been setting up. But yeah, I'm curious to see what role he'll play in that if something doesn't happen before then. And then, yeah, Rick Jones becoming something else. That's going to be very cool to see. So I'm not going to say the name before it's revealed, but I know exactly where that's going.
But I said as well, like with the others, I like just leave little like traces of if we do this again in a year's time, just things that could miraculously come out and appear again. So my next film is just called Nova.
Okay.
We get a sort of origin story of how Richard Rider becomes Nova Prime, how he gets his powers, but then they were launched right into the present day. He has a feeling that the Skrulls are behind all these planets being destroyed, and it feels like they are planning to have another assault. On Xandar, he teams up with Romon, the Space Knight, and they both go off together to investigate the rubble of these planets and why they are getting destroyed. They bump in to the Nova Corps soldier, Sam Alexander, who tells them it is not the Skrulls, but is a Phoenix Force. But he does not know where it's heading, and it feels like to him it is being called towards somewhere or someone. Before this, they start to get reports that there is an instant attack on Xandar. They wait until they go and find where the attack is going on and find out what is happening. Luckily enough, Roman the Knight and Sam Alexander and Nova Prime, Richard Rider gets back in time to Xandar to fight off the Skrulls before they could do any more damage. And they managed to defeat them all and then regroup. The post-credit scene A humanoid is sat at a bar just drinking and chatting away with others of his free will nature on Xandar when the Skrulls attack. All of a sudden, he gets out two of these laser guns out of his holsters, puts some music onto his head, and just shouts, "It's game time, baby!" And that's it.
It's another very cool one with Nova and it's Roman Day, right? That's the other Nova Corps member. That's cool. Um, yeah, the I don't remember the Skrulls and the Nova Corps having a conflict like that, but that's cool that it's a new thing that you've got in this. I just see we got Rez in the chat. Thanks for joining, Rez.
Thanks a lot, mate.
Um, so yeah, that's really cool what you've got, and obviously it's kind of building more to the Phoenix coming closer to Earth, I guess, because you've kind of teased who's connected to that at the end of your last one. So I'm excited to see when that happens. Um, and then yeah, that mysterious character you introduced in the post-credit scene. I think a lot of people, like Marvel fans, will know who that is, but if you don't,
Yeah.
then I think you'll be pleasantly surprised.
Yeah. Again, I was like, again, when I was doing my research and what films I could have like that, there was, I don't think it's a massive one, but there is a brief conflict with Xandar and the Skrulls and that
Okay.
sort of thing. It's not a massive, like, years long and stuff like that sort of thing. There is like a brief conflict and that sort of thing. And with me using the Skrulls previously, I was like, well, that is a perfect thing to join in again. Like, they've already attacked one planet, they've been defeated there. Why wouldn't they attack another planet? And then them thinking about it could be the Skrulls again, destroying all these other planets before getting told. So I miss the good old days when everything was linked together, and that's what I was trying to do, that sort of thing. So that's why I like to just intertwine and let things connect.
Nice.
So my next film, and again, it might be something to do with that little person standing there, that lot. It is just called Star-Lord. And again, we get a mini origin story. Who is Peter Quill? He comes from Earth. His mother's died. We don't know who his dad is. He was an orphan, but then he manages to work his way up NASA and gets lost out in space on a space shuttle and gets picked up by aliens. And one of them, obviously, who you know, is Yondu, who he works with in the end. He ends up on his own and is on Xandar when the Skrulls attack. He helps the Nova and everybody fighting off the attack and lets things settle down. He goes off to a place, just somewhere to relax and chill out, and he flies off in his ship and that lot, and goes to a place called Nowhere. And then he goes and sees his close friend Cosmo, the space dog. While he's there, though, Cosmo just does tell him that soldiers from Spartax is looking for him. Peter, not knowing who they are or why they're really looking for him, just shrugs it off and don't worry about it, sort of thing. Later on, he goes to sleep and just tries to chill out and goes like night. While he's doing that, though, he gets drugged and kidnapped by soldiers of Spartax. They take him to Spartax and take him to their leader and villain of this film, just called Jocelyn, the king of the Spartax. It is revealed here that he is actually his father, and after finding out that he had a child, wants to bring him into the fold and help him rule. Peter refuses to join him and vows, why would he work with such a dictator like him, and vows to bring him down. While he is imprisoned and locked up, though, he's imprisoned with all these other different people and beings in the cells. And all of a sudden, this talking raccoon calls out to him with his friend, just says Groot. On the other side, there's a madman just banging and slanging on the bars, and they calls out to him, "What's your name?" He just calls him, "I'm Drax the Destroyer." Next to Drax, there is also somebody called Bug, and another one just called Novar, who is later will become Marvel Boy. They managed to work together and managed to escape, and he humiliates his father while doing so, vowing to say, "I will never work with a dictator like you. If you want me, come and find me." In this post-credit scene, They get back to nowhere, and Peter introduces Cosmo to these other new friends of his. He asked, well, while we're here, we work so well together, breaking out of that. Why don't we make yourself a new team? And Cosmo, is it cool if we set this place up as our base of operations? Cosmo, toying with the idea, goes, go on then, but only if you look after the place. And then all of a sudden, it just comes up, just bang, 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 bang. We are the Guardians of the Galaxy. And that's how my film ends.
It's very cool. I thought you had them in your franchise before, but I guess not. That's a cool way to introduce them, and obviously a very different lineup from what we're used to. There's no Gamora in there or Mantis or any of that. Um, so yeah, I'm curious to see what role they'll play going forward, and um, if there's any repercussions of this. Um, it's Jay's son, right? Like,
Yeah.
yeah. So if there's anything that comes out of that in the future, um, yeah, it's just a very cool like Star Lord focused movie, because that's something like obviously the MCU alluded to that Star Lord's coming back, and I honestly don't know how they're gonna do that.
Exactly,
Um,
yeah.
but this is a cool way of both introducing the Guardians, but also giving him an arc of, he's just the reckless guy that doesn't care about really anything in his way. He's just kind of cruising through life, and then he's given this purpose, and then he, you know, is now tasked with carrying out that purpose and protecting the galaxy. So that's cool.
Well, again, I didn't want just the same old like team and just like, oh yeah, we'll have Gamora and Mantis and that
Yeah,
sort of thing. I just want to mix it up and like have lesser known people that actually all these people have actually been a part of the Guardians and everything. So they might not have been at the same time together, but I just picked ones out of various like different teams that they've been in, and just here we are, perfect way to set them up, perfect way to be in it. Having the base of operations as nowhere, because everybody knows what nowhere is now, and
yeah.
Cosmo the dog and everything. I was just like, yeah, we'll bang them on there and that lot. And I just like to. I didn't want to just introduce the team as a whole. I'd rather just introduce Star Lord first, have him set his own thing, and then can build on to more things from there, sort of thing. So
Yeah, I'm glad your lineup is completely different from mine too, because I have a lot of people in my Guardians of the Galaxy, and obviously some of them have died since the end of my last phase. But um, you've started with a completely different lineup from what I had, and that's kind of cool.
yeah, I'm channeling you. I'm just trying to challenge you. That's what I'm doing. That like, I'm like trying to get in the preset of how you'd like think that lot. So here we go. Right. So my next film again is just as you alluded and could tell from the previous film, is just the Guardians of the Galaxy. They may be a team, but they're still working out their kinks and how to work better together. They want to be a proactive team and stop dangers before they start to get out of hand. Again, they get a distress call from a planet pleading for help from this fiery demon in the sky before the signal goes dead. They got off to this planet to see what was gone off and what happened, and again see death and destruction similar to the other planets that we've previously seen in other films, and they are just all shocked and cannot figure out what sort of being has destroyed another planet. They just completely just are gobsmacked. They try and plan out where the trajectory of this flame is being, and they try and work out where in the cosmos it might go. Then all of a sudden they figure out it could be a planet called Earth. So trying to jump the gun and get there before anything could happen, they managed to fly to Earth through the, I've just called them portals because I can't remember what they're called, the space jump thing is. So pardon me, through the portals to get to Earth. They just stay in the orbit, cloaked up, making sure that nothing and nobody they think on Earth can see them. All of a sudden, they start to get massive energy spikes from the nearby sun, sending out strange signals to try and, like, what the hell's going off, sort of thing. So the Guardians go to the sun to try and see what is happening, and they see another ship there blasting, beams and all sorts going into the sun's core. We see the villain of this film is Korvac and the minions of Menace. They try and attack the ship, but the ship is being well withheld and battering off all the Guardians' advances. Again, they try and regroup and again go back because they sense the more and more the ship is attacking the sun, it could go supernova and just literally completely wipe out this universe. Again, they go back again and they manage to this time board the ship. But while they're helping out and everything and fighting and what's going off, there's almost this massive whoosh and a massive hole in the side of the ship bursts open and erupts. They are actually helped out by Thor. Thor's noticed that there's energy fluctuations and things going off up in the air, basically, and around the sun, sees it's happening here and comes to help. With Thor's help and the Guardians' help together, they work together to defeat Korvac and the minions of Menace and manage to stop their attack and basically blast them off out of this Earth's orbit and the Milky Way together. They stay on Earth's orbit knowing something could happen, something could come along the way. Also letting Thor know that they are the Guardians of the Galaxy. Thor not looking a clue at them, not knowing what the hell they're just going on about. And just like, yeah, right, okay, cool. You do you guys. If we need you there, we might come back for you. In the post-credit scene, Thor goes back to Asgard, still on Earth, still on the crust now, and stands in front of a statue of the fallen Loki after his heroic sacrifice at the end of Avengers Disassembled, which is the Avengers Siege comic book series. While he's standing there, Balder the Brave comes to him and gives him a grave warning. There is two threats coming to Asgard, one from the sky and one from family. And that's a post-credit scene.
It's very cool that now you've got Korvac in yours too, so yeah, it's a cool villain to have for the Guardians, and it's cool that you have them now linked to Earth, and maybe they'll be needed later on. And yeah, having Thor in there too, I think that's an interesting part too, because like Thor isn't generally around the Guardians, but when he is, it's interesting what they do together and what kind of villains kind of come out of that too. So it's cool that you got Thor in there, and now there's a link to something greater impacting Thor, so I'm curious to see what that is. Yeah, looking forward to see what comes next.
But again, with all these films, I just like it. There's always a connection. So if something happens near close to the end of one film, you know something's going to happen in the next film. And I miss them good old days of the MCU where just knocked on effect like that sort of thing. And that's how I always base these films mainly around. Just there's a cause and effect, and there's a continuation sort of thing. So and I needed the Guardians to have it. We've had a load of space stuff and all things going off there sort of thing, but now bring it back down to Earth because we know something's coming, something's going to happen, and they're going to be needed eventually out lot. So the next one is Thor, The End Is Nigh. With Asgard still on Earth, they have been dealing with Earth tourists and people keeping an eye on them, as well as trying to keep an eye on other realms. Unbeknownst to them, though, something close to home is planning to either destroy Asgard outright again or take it back to the stars. After Balder the Brave's warning, they investigate what could be coming from up in the air as well as down below. They send a message out to Beta Ray Bill to hear if he's heard anything about anything up in the stars and anything, but gets no answer. All of a sudden, the Asgard is attacked again. The Warriors 3, thinking it's just going to be some human soldiers or another off-cut of Hydra or something like that, go out to try and stop the attack. But they are surprised to see it is actually the Destroyer. It's been sent to destroy Asgard or send it back to the stars, and if it will not be if it will not go, it's going to be wiped off the face of the earth. The person behind the armor is Hela. She really wants to rule Asgard again and take it back to where it belongs, back in the stars. She didn't think it should be on Earth like the humans did. But as well as Hela and the armor, they battle Asgard and manage to kill the Warriors 3. She gives them time to bury their dead, and then in the next day, if they don't give up, she will come back bigger and badder with an undead armor to take Asgard and take it back to where it belongs. As they lay the Warriors 3 to rest, Beta Ray Bill does come back to Asgard. We need to warn the people of Earth. Something is coming. The Phoenix Force is coming. Between Beta Ray Bill, Odin, and Thor, as well as the other warriors of Asgard, they managed to prepare the defenses of Asgard and managed to beat back Hela and the armor, as well as destroying and practically melting down the destroyer armor. With the damage around Asgard and this warning from Beta Ray Bill, thinking that the Phoenix Force is coming towards them, they reluctantly have to say to the Avengers and Earth itself, they are taking Asgard away from Earth, saying that it doesn't feel right having them here because more and more people are getting hurt, more and more people are getting killed, and then more and more beings are targeting Asgard. To protect Earth from itself as well as people around it, they take Asgard back to the stars. But as a parting gift, they do leave a form of portal. I've said it and described it as a Stargate portal from the movie Stargate. A portal there, if they ever need to call them, to give them a call, and they'll come back to help as soon as possible. In the post-credit scene, Hank Pym has successfully completed his robotic project. It is now fully sentient, but only starts to start questioning Hank, what he is doing, why he is doing it, and just literally runs all these questions away. Why are the humans doing this then? Why is these things happen? Why is this green monster destroyed half of New York? Why? Just why? And the last image you see is him going, okay then, maybe I can do a bit better. And then his eyes turning from nice and blue to deep, violent red. And that is my end of that film.
It's very cool. It's interesting that you have Hela behind the destroyer. I wouldn't have even thought of doing that if I was to do that in mine. So that's cool, and you've kind of expanded Asgard there, and having a link to maybe something bigger happening on Thor's kind of side of your universe coming soon. And then that mysterious robot, you still haven't named him, but I'm very curious to see what you do with that. And again, you've beat me to that too. So yeah, I'm gonna be playing catch up, I guess, a lot.
I told you, I'm just channeling.
Rez says he loves that one. Thanks for the feedback, Rez.
Bless you. Thank you very much, mate. I really appreciate that. I'm trying to channel him in the knee. I'm trying to really get into his head and really come out sort of stuff like that. But again, when I was doing my research and what I could do for this phase and stuff like that sort of thing, I always try and make, as long as there's a link, so there has been a link between Hela and the Destroyer armor.
Yeah.
I just captured that and gone, right, that would be a perfect thing. They're still on Earth, but where they are when they're Oklahoma, it's all being decimated because of obviously the events of the Asgard attack. Now this is just coming more and more and more, and I just it's got to come to the point where the Asgardians are going to be like, do you know what, this might be a bad idea to bring this to Earth in the first place now, so we better charts hightail out there sort of thing. But I just like the links. I like the cohesiveness of what could happen. Again, moment, cause and effect.
Yeah, that's always the toughest part of doing this, especially with mine and Kang, and that's so intricate and complex.
Yeah.
And you have to connect all these little points all the way and make them make sense at the end. That's always the hardest part, but it's also the fun part in some way too.
No, massively, 100%. So right then, next one. Again, you probably could tell where this is going out, but now we have Avengers Age of Ultron. The Avengers have now got a threat that is more close to home than they thought, with Hank Pym trying to do something actually good, but turns out to be the worst thing possible. Again, the Avengers are still cleaning up after the events of World War Hulk, regrouping the team, trying to make sure everybody is like there, everything's all good, and everything's like fixed up and ready to go. We have a new member of the Avengers group, Falcon. He was brought into a consideration from Cap before he obviously he passed away and got assassinated. But while they're all working together, we got Spider-Man, Luke Cage, obviously Tony, to a point that people are still a bit wary of him. War Machine, Daredevil, they're all working together still to rebuild and work Asgard out, sort of thing. Yeah, not Asgard, sorry, New York out. And all of a sudden, there's a massive explosion at Hank Pym Industries and the building. And all of a sudden, you see this massive, gigantic robot flying away. The Avengers, as well as S.H.I.E.L.D., from the helicarrier, come down to investigate what the hell has gone on. They find Hank desperately hurt and need medical attention, take him away to get cleaned up, and we'll get answers from him later on. While they're there, they're searching through the rubble, trying to find out any signs of life or anything out what could be found there. All of a sudden, Tony finds more blueprints and projects that Hank was working on, and he was wondering what was this all about. It just reads about him having basically an armor around the world to help, or basically if he couldn't do the armor, he'd have one figure he could send out instead of him to go and help the Avengers fight off different threats. While they was looking, figuring out what was all going off, sort of thing, Tony figured out, reading through all the notes and everything, that the actual being that he made became sentient and then went off on its own. They tried to figure out where it had gone, but there was no signs of anything. All of a sudden, while they're regrouping days or two later, these little drones or smaller Ultrons come flying and start to attack the helicarrier. The heroes, while on the helicarrier, try to fend off and figure out what the hell is going off and why these little Ultron little beings, or little beings that they know of, attacking him. All of a sudden, the Master Ultron comes up in front of them, has his army of little Ultrons, and asks, "Where's my father?" He was the one that made me this. He was the one that made me aware of you lesser beings, of how insignificant you all are. I need to cleanse this world, cleanse this earth, and start again from scratch. You're just all damaging and ruining everything. What's the point of you even being here? They managed to all fly in and try and stop her and everything, that sort of thing. But this Master Ultron isn't at full capacity or full death threats just yet. Lucky enough, the Avengers, as well as S.H.I.E.L.D., managed to decimate at least half of his drones and send him packing. While they're there, they managed to wake Hank up to get answers from him and figure out what the hell is going off, sort of thing. Why did he create it? Hank explains that he wanted to, instead of being a hindrance and being the Ant-Man or Giant Man, after his death of Janet Van Dyne, he didn't think he was fit enough to do the role. So he tried to make Ultron. But Ultron got too smart for him and became its own being. We flip over to Ultron in an underground layer, mastering away. It looks like an old S.H.I.E.L.D. or Hank Pym, I should say, like base or office or warehouse, basically. While he's there, he's got all these machines going off, making other little Ultrons, but he thinks he needs to have a second in command, a second soldier, similar to him, with his same brain patterns and everything, but not as, well, maybe not as powerful, but near enough near his thing. So he creates this being called Vision. Together they go back and attack the helicarrier again, but this time they're prepared. and they're waiting. They call in reinforcements. They call in Thor. They call in Beta Ray Bill. And Hank begrudgingly again becomes a giant man. While they are battling and fighting Ultron and the other like robots and everything, as well as Vision, Vision starts to stop and question and say, why do we want to kill our father? Why do we want to kill and have global destruction? It's not plausible. It's not effective. Why don't we help them and bring them together? Why don't we help them make them better themselves? Ultron, devastated that he feels like his own son has gone against him, starts to battle Vision. Vision and Ultron have a massive flying battle just in the air sort of thing, while the rest of the other Avengers battle off the drones and everything, that sort of thing. All of a sudden, Vision manages to cut Ultron in half with a massive laser beam coming from his head and just decimates him and just basically like rips him apart. Now all the other robots just drop like flies. Being out, they have like a mastermind, hive mind sort of thing together. All the other robots are done. Vision goes and flies to Hank, confronts him, and just says, "Look, I can understand where where Ultron was coming from, but also you need to know he was in the wrong, and I want to be better, and I want to help. But first, let me go and try and find myself." In a post-credit scene, though, a mysterious figure is lurking in the wreckage of the Pym Industries office, where the whole battle first started from, basically, and Ultron first got away. While this mysterious figure is wandering around, he sees a little Bluetooth hard drive thingamajig put on the side and that lot, and it just says, "If things go wrong, back up for Ultron." And that's how we finish there.
It's very cool that you've adapted it in a completely different way than we've seen before. So that's really cool, and having Vision come into it, because you reference Viz like in phase 3, right? Or 4, phase 4. So that's cool now that that's actually in this now, and maybe Scarlet Witch will be like, okay, maybe this is real now.
Yeah.
So that's going to be interesting to see how that plays out, especially. And yeah, just having all these different characters come in and try to take down Ultron, and like you had Thor and Beta Ray Bill come in there. That's really cool that Beta Ray Bill's a part of that story, because he's a character that's really cool, but he's like not really involved in a lot of those bigger stories. So it's cool that you've brought him into this one. And then, yeah, I'm curious to see who that mysterious figure is at the end that kind of takes a dormant version of Ultron off a hard drive.
But as I say, Ultron. This Ultron isn't Mega Prime Master Ultron sort of thing, and he's one of them villains that has to. It'll just lead on. He's never ending sort of thing. You'll never stop him properly. And then with the vast heroes I've surrounded sort of thing, I just like having as many as possible, and just it can't just be like a small little team that's going to take out Ultron. It's got to be a vast army of them that'll really put up a decent fight. And then with Vision, yes, we've alluded to Viz being a presence within somebody else's entity, but he needed to make his own real appearance amongst himself, and then maybe something later down the line.
Yeah, I'm very curious to see what comes out of that.
Right.
What number are we at, by the way?
Film. This next film will be 9.
9. Okay, so we're almost there then.
Yeah. I've only got 11 in this lot because I had to take a film out because the cohesiveness, how I did it. I'll tell you now, it was a Captain America film. I put a Captain America film in, but it didn't run, sort of thing. It felt like a not complete left field, but just like a stopgap.
Right.
Like Captain America should have been, where is it? Just after the Guardians of the Galaxy.
Okay.
So it would have gone Guardians of the Galaxy, Captain America, and then Thor. But I couldn't get it to connect and flow into the other films, and there was just no. It was. It was. I'll tell you now. It's a Captain American Vision film. Not Vision.
Okay.
Sorry, Captain American Falcon film,
Oh, okay.
and it just didn't. It didn't connect. I couldn't. It really ticked me off, to be honest. Now, like, I really was wound up with myself. But anyway, yes. So, film 9. Oh Christ! Pardon me. Get me all confuddled. Film 9 is just called Vision. Now, this film, we have a story of self-discovery. He wants to learn more about the Earth, the superheroes, and what he's really landed himself into amongst this whole giant mess of everything. He goes to different places around the world, and in this universe itself, he goes to the ruins of the Inhumans on the moon and sees all the destruction there. He goes to Geonosia and sees all the mutants there and everything. It goes to the Professor X, the X Mansion, sees all the mutants there. But he keeps being drawn now back to Geonosia, feeling like somebody's there, hidden, out of sight. But he carries on. He goes to the Baxter Building, finds out more about the Fantastic Four and what was going off there. He goes to the Avengers Mansion, finds out more about all this. He goes to Wakanda, finds out obviously the culture and the integrity of stuff there. He goes to Atlantis, sees what was happening around there and Namor and how he's leading the Atlanteans. We go to I can't think what it's being called now because I didn't write it down. I just put Doom. Latveria. That's it. Yeah, he goes to the Latveria, sees Doom still milling around. Doom's still there and everything. He goes to the UK and sees the veil into the multiverse being protected by Captain Britain and the Cap Corps. And he hears and senses other versions of himself, as well as seeing in this, looking into the veil, a red woman and 2 children around him. Again, looking very confused and puzzled. He just goes back off, flying around the world, learning new, different things. He goes back to goes back to Manhattan, while all of a sudden, just before he gets back to the Avengers mansion, basically, he gets attacked. And the villain of this film is the Grim Reaper, and it is Eric Williams. For him, he hates the Avengers after all the death and destruction of what's happened, and he hates the Vision for what he thought as a victory for mankind, having the Avengers and S.H.I.E.L.D. be decimated. He also thinks that the apparent death of his brother in battle around Manhattan, Simon Williams, is their fault. At first, he doesn't hurt Vision or really take anything off him, but he does catch him by surprise. After Vision regroups himself, phases through things while he's attacking him, he tries to reason with Grim Reaper and find out why. Why are you attacking me? What's going on? Why do you want to hurt me? I don't want to hurt you. While he tries to understand what was going on and fighting amongst themselves and everything, he manages just to basically bash him off, fight him away, and just goes, "Look, I'm not the reason your brother's dead, but really, do you really know if your brother's dead or not?" And we just end it there on that question. The next scene, the post-credit scene, sorry. Thunderbolt Ross is having a meeting with the president. "Look, I know last time I was here, I might have done some different things, and I might have got up amongst it with things I shouldn't have done. But I want to offer you a team. While the bigwigs and Stark and all that want to fight off beings in the sky, you need people to do the real dirty work down on here. Look at all this destruction. Look at all this mess. You have villains running around trying to take advantage of everything. Let me show you a team. We'll really take care of them. And you won't have anything to clean up about. We've got this." And that's how this one ends.
That's very cool. That's very interesting that Vision has his own movie, and goes on that personal journey of, trying to learn everything and know his place in this new world that he's in. Um, and then bringing in the Grim Reaper and Wonder Man, that's cool too. Um, I've I was actually considering doing Grim Reaper in mine too, but
Oh yeah.
it didn't work. But now I have a way of doing it that would be really cool. So you beat me to that once more.
Tell you what, this phase 6, I am proper like I'm absorbing all the stuff you've been teaching me that, like, and I'm like I really like.
Yeah, so that's cool. And oh, what else did you have? Oh, the link to Genosha. I'm curious to see if there's a greater thing that's coming for that, and if the finale will kind of explode in our faces with all that. And then Thunderbolt Ross, obviously alluding to his own special team, which again I'm not going to say the name, but I'm curious to see what role they're like gonna play in the finale of this phase if they're in it. But yeah, it's interesting that you're bringing them into it.
I know we had the little bits of like Thunderbolty sort of villain teams where there was like there was actually the Dark Avengers and
Yeah.
the old that sort of thing. But this time I was like, it seems like he's sort of learnt his ways. He's now feels that the Hulk is finally defeated after World War Hulk, so he can be like the one true Hulk sort of thing,
Right.
and not sort of turn a leaf, but not to be the big macho man superhero that them all think they are, just having his own like right. Them not all messing around dealing that like you still got criminals trying to rob banks and mess around here sort of thing, and
Yeah.
let me take care of that sort of thing. So that's where that idea sort of come from.
Yeah. Very excited for
So
that.
again, as you've seen and alluded to, we have. Well, let me just get. Yeah. So we have the Thunderbolts. Thunderbolt Ross is going out to find these so-called heroes or reform villains, since they didn't want to sign the Superior Registration Act. Now that has been decimated and no more. He wants to have people that comes into his group that will help out, not just do the dirty things, but also do the dirty things in a legal way. The people that he recruits are the Punisher, Deadpool, Moonstone, who was previously Miss Marvel in the Dark Avengers, Taskmaster, and the links from Deadpool as well as his own, not Deadpool, sorry, the links from the Midnight Suns. They send over Taskmaster, not Taskmaster, Ghost Rider, sorry. They are a very dysfunctional team, always fighting amongst themselves, never getting really along. But when they go for jobs no one else will want to do, they take them out. Small, one-time villains, just trying to like concoct a nuclear bomb. That's where they are, and they're taking them clean out, sort of thing. One of the big jobs they have to go for is a pair of brothers, Philip Stern and Samuel Stern. With themselves, they've acquired gamma radiation weapons, blood, equipment, all for themselves to make their own Hulks or themselves into Hulks to make them stronger. But really, these sort of things shouldn't be in to their sort of hands. Before they know it, though, they use them items on themselves to get bigger and stronger and smarter. Phillips turns into the Madman. He is more the brawns and strength, while Samuel Stearns becomes the leader. Ross, figuring out that there may even be more Hulks roaming around and having to fight, angers him, and he sets off to kill them both. Doesn't want any more Hulks to be running amongst. Again, things don't go to plan. During the fighting, Deadpool gets dismembered and completely taken power off. The Madman and the leader are able to escape. Ross, angered amongst his teams, talks to him and goes, "Come on, we need to get this. We can't have more and more Hulks. The more Hulks, the messier it could get. Let me talk to the leader." if he's so smart and everything like, he must know that if we can talk to him, we'll be able to get him on our side, or even maybe just stop it altogether. When they go off, they manage to fight them again and stop them, but this time they're at a bit of a stalemate. Ross talks to him and says, "Look, if you stop this now, why don't you join our team? If you want to become this leader and have the powers similar to that madman that's being put in prison now, then you can. But join our side. And you could bring your brother along as well." Stern, looking at him, goes, "Tell you what, I'll do one better." All of a sudden, he pulls this gun out with this giant tranquilizer and shoots his brother in cold blood. Dead, done, dusted. The team are like, "Damn, you had balls to do that. I wasn't expecting that." Stern just walks over to him and is like, "Look, okay then, I'm on your side. Where's my office? Where's my lab? And let's concoct these different things and everything, because I think me and you could do some real good work." Post-credit scene, Ross is well back at Ross's headquarters, and this is where we call it as the Thunderbolt Mountain. He's back there. Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and the government tell him, go outside. You're going to be needed. We need you as soon as possible." Ross, not knowing what the hell's going off, looks outside and looks up into the sky. All of a sudden, there's this massive, fiery Phoenix Force. It is here. And that's the end.
It's very cool having a very unique Thunderbolts team. The villains were an interesting choice too. I wouldn't have thought that the leader, and I had to look up who the Madman was because I had no idea who that was. But those are interesting choices for villains of the Thunderbolts. And now Stearns is, I think he's obviously up to something. With he's always got something in the background what he's trying to do. So I'm curious to see if anything comes out of that. And now, yeah, you're fully ramping up to what the main event, I guess, is, and what I was hoping it would be. So, yeah, I'm curious to see what you're gonna do with this.
Like I say again, always a link. Always there's something always playing on in the background. There's always, like, as well with each of the individual villains or characters and everything, they've all actually been a part of the Thunderbolts, or they've been like villains of the Thunderbolts, and just linking with the Hulk sort of side of things as well.
Yeah.
That obviously they're probably more villains towards the Hulk, but they have actually gone up against the Red Hulk as well. And I just merging it all together and twisting it all out. So like I say, everything you've taught me, I am trying to like proper merge it all together and get it to a cohesive, like, flowing thing. So
yeah, it's very nice.
I can't thank you enough, because watching your stories come along and that, like, I've been proper, like, I've got to up my game. I've got to really think and channel Nate. So yeah, here is the main event, the piece de resistance: Avengers versus X-Men. It starts off at the X-Mansion. Since the events of Werewolf Hulk, the X-Men have been regrouping, housing more and more mutants up now, lost their powers. While during all this, Charles senses this person called Hope Summers, still with great power and everything, manages to get her to the X-Mansion for her home protection. Cyclops being told that Charles telling Cyclops about this child and about how powerful she is. Cyclops starts to think that she could be the savior of all mutants, the mutant messiah, if you will. When the Phoenix Force appears above them all, high in the sky, it seems to target and look at Hope. Unbeknown to the X-Men, the now former members of the Illuminati, all while this been happening and previous films have been working in the background for countermeasures. When they first got their warning back many films ago, they first got their warning about two things coming towards Earth. One of these beings was the Phoenix Force. They managed to come up with more countermeasures to fight it and keep it back at bay, and hoping to destroy it. While back at the X-Mansion, though, Hope and Jean both think it could be coming for them. When all of a sudden, Tony, as well as the other other Avengers, appear at the X Mansion to confront the X Men, to say they need to take Jean and Hope away for their own safety. Cyclops standing up to him goes, "No, if it's coming for both of them, it's going to be good for us. We can control it. We can save them. We can protect them. Don't worry about it." While they're having a confrontation and talking, things start to escalate. All of a sudden, the two teams start fighting each other. Charles takes Hope and Jean away to one side, and while they're all fighting and getting amongst themselves, the Phoenix Force darts down, and instead of going for Jean, Fox goes full on and hones in towards Hope. Confident that she can handle the Phoenix Force, stands there, arms wide open, asking and willing it to come into her. She can do it. She can get it. She can get this. Before she can do any of that, though, Iron Man molds out of his arm an enhanced disruptor blast to shoot at the Phoenix Force, hoping it will kill it, or at least dampen its power or blast it away. But what he actually does, he shoots it and it splits off into 5 little phoenixes and goes flying looking for some of the strongest mutants that still have got powers. One of them stays close by, goes to Cyclops. One of them, again, goes straight into Colossus. 2 still stay by. One flies all the way off to Atlantis, enters the body of Namor. The third one goes to Geonosia, where it enters Emma Frost, and also a new recruit of Magneto's in Geonosia, while there was getting people there to have their own mutant home. The 5th one goes into Magic. With all these almighty powers, Cyclops and Colossus managed to defeat the Avengers there and takes Hope with them. Now understanding that the Phoenix Force was heading to there, and they go off to a meteorite that was floating around Earth in the sky, in the atmosphere. This now is called Utopia. In the coming days, the Phoenix Five managed to go around the Earth and solve world hunger, have world peace, have renewable energy and food and everything for all. After the Avengers defeat at the X Mansion, they are summoned to the White House. The president, in my head, every time I say the president, I've got Barack Obama. I'm not with anybody else. He's my president in my Marvel. So they go to the president a lot, and he admits, even though they have done good and they have solved so many things, 5 beings of this much power cannot have this monopoly of power amongst them. They need to go to Utopia and take Hope with them, saying that she is the answer to stop these 5, withhold the Phoenix Force, and make everything right again. With the help of S.H.I.E.L.D., a group of Avengers go up to Utopia, trying to infiltrate and get into Utopia without anybody noticing them. But when they get there, as soon as they set foot on land, Cyclops is there. He starts battering them, blasting them, and everything like that. When all of a sudden, a power surge comes from Geonosia, comes flying up to Utopia. It is the Scarlet Witch. She has been in hiding since M-Day and has felt guilty for causing so much pain and suffering amongst mutants. She only wanted to punish her father. With her now there, she helps the Avengers team and manages to rescue them and get them back. But instead of going back to Avengers Tower or Avengers Mansion and place there where they know they could be, they go and get the help of the Black Panther and Wakanda, hoping to have more protection and a stronger base there. Scarlet Witch goes there with them. People and are still very reluctant and angered when they've seen the Force go there and that lot. The Guardians of the Galaxy come onto the planet, asking for the highest being, highest person. Captain America answers the call, tells them, right, we'll send you coordinates. Please come here. We need as many beings and as many people as possible to help. Again, he sends out a distress signal to any more people that can help them to come to Wakanda. So Captain Britain comes there, as well as some members of the Thunderbolts. We have Red Hulk, we have the Punisher, and Deadpool. I just thought Deadpool's got to be there because he just make everything a joke. They regroup at in Wakanda, and they try to figure out a way of how they can stop these Phoenix Five. Hope talks to Scarlet Witch and explains to her that the Phoenix is coming for you, but with her help and her teaching and everything like that, could help them come together and stop the Phoenix Five. We go to the Phoenix Five, them knowing they're all in Wakanda, and having previously battled Wakanda, Namor and the Atlanteans set out an all-scale assault on Wakanda to retrieve Hope. There is an intense battle where amongst it all, again, people get hurt, and the Punisher is actually taken down. The Punisher is dead.
Wow.
Yeah, don't. That was a very hard call for me to do. But amongst all the battle, they managed to weaken Namor down and defeat him. With this defeat, the Phoenix Force leaves his body and splits off into four, going in to the other four remaining people: Cyclops, Magic, Colossus, and Emma Frost. This angers Cyclops, thinking that these beings shouldn't be able to defeat a god like they are, and sends Magic and Colossus off to finish this little rebellion once and for all. With the group and at Wakanda just managing to recover and get back to how they was beforehand, have another onslaught from Colossus and Magic. This time with the combined efforts of Hope and Scarlet Witch there to fight amongst them this time, the Scarlet Witch starts to mind manipulate Colossus to convince him he should be the leader and all the other ones are just lesser beings than him. This about sets Colossus onto Magic, and they both have a battle of their own, and because of the sheer power and ferocity of it all, manage to hurt themselves and basically knock them both out. This sends the two remaining Phoenix Forces out of them and into Cyclops and Emma Frost. With even more defeat and anger, Cyclops has just had enough. He goes himself and says, right, if something's going to be done, I'll have to do it myself. While he's there and start to again just let loose on the group of heroes at Wakanda, we have another surprise appearance, and it comes in the form of Wolverine. Wolverine is there to try and stop Cyclops, reason with him, saying Jean won't want him to be like this. Jean knows he's a better person than this. He doesn't need all this destruction. They're doing things the right way. Maybe not the quickest, but the right way. They have a massive battle. Wolverine is like getting obliterated. And again, with this distraction, Hope and the Scarlet Witch again team up and blast him absolutely with their full ferocity and might away. This makes Cyclops get launched and blasted off onto the moon. Here he stands in the ruins of the Inhuman home and realizes if he really wants to defeat them once and for all, he needs the last Phoenix Force. He goes to Utopia, talks to Emma Frost, trying to pretend nothing's going on, it'll be fine. And then he attacks her and breaks her neck. Emma Frost is now dead. She's not defeated, done, anything like that. She's dead. Emma Frost is no more. He takes the last essence of the Phoenix Force into him, and he becomes the Dark Phoenix. Now, with Cyclops being the Dark Phoenix, he goes to the X-Mansion and tries to talk to Charles, saying, how can you let all these others try and stop what he's doing. He's solved everything. He's figured everything out. He's done what Magneto couldn't do. But you're just going to let him idly by and just let him go on with it, sort of thing. Professor X tries to fight him mentally and convince him, look, this is not the way. You can't be doing this. They need to have better things. You can't just have one monopoly of power. Cyclops, again, angered and so powerful, just literally blasts Charles. Charles is dead. Again, no more Charles. His last resort is just to go, right, if we're going to do this, I'll just burn the world down. Sets fire to other places and literally it's like a asteroid has hit the Earth and is starting to consume and burn itself. He starts this up on Utopia and just literally is letting out a ferocious blast and aura of the Phoenix Force to try and destroy the world as itself. The heroes see this, sensing that the world could be on its own end. So Captain America decides, in his last hope and resort, to send Hope, Doctor Strange, and the Scarlet Witch off to fight them head-on at Utopia, hoping the three of them can come up with the power they need to destroy this Phoenix and stop them. Up on Utopia, the three have a massive battle and almost destroy Utopia in its whole with their combined forces. But with the last inch of their fighting and everything, they stop Cyclops, and the Phoenix Force is forced out of him. It targets Hope, goes straight into Hope, and it feels like she is burning from within. The Scarlet Witch grabs hold of her hands, looks her deep in the eyes, and goes, look, if I can make all the mutants just disappear, I'm sure we can do this the same with the Phoenix Force. Before they can do that, though, Hope says to her, look, you might have wanted to punish your father, but we need to set things right. We need to give the mutant population their power back. So with her power of the Phoenix Force, she projects this power onto everybody and gives back all the mutants in the whole world their powers. And they then, with combined effort of the Scarlet Witch, in essence, destroy and wish the Phoenix Force away. And they sort of collapse in the middle of the floor. In the aftermath and days after this, Cyclops is arrested for war crimes, and now the new leader of the Avengers, Captain America, comes together and wants to combine efforts of not just Avengers but also X-Men, and wants to show that these healing bonds will heal the fractured relationship that they've had, and they'll have a combined team of X-Men and Avengers, calling them the New Avengers. And that's where we'll go. And that's where I end my basics.
It's a very good conclusion, having that event be like, that's like, there's so many things that come out of that event in the comics and then impacts like further down the line. So I can't imagine where you could go from here, because you could do really...
I've got some ideas.
You could really do anything at this point. But yeah, that's a really good way to end it. And having all those characters come together and then doing the Phoenix Five and having Cyclops just go completely out of control. Very cool. Having Barack Obama canon to your universe, that's pretty cool.
He's my president, even though I might not live over there. He's my president. That's what he'll answer to. So you don't have to have just 8 years or whatever it is. He can be president forever.
And yeah, I'm not going to speak to that because that could be controversial. Like, I'm not saying I'm a supporter of any kind of yeah, we'll just move past that.
Oh yeah, just move that. Yeah, because you're about to kill me then. Oh dear.
Yeah, we won't put some controversy in here. So but yeah, very good way to wrap it up. You've got the New Avengers in there now, having, obviously they have mutants in their team now. So that's very cool, and I'm interested to see if you have any more characters joining that new team, and what could come out of that in future movies. So yeah, very nice job doing that and wrapping it all up there.
Thank you very much. Again, it's just one of the films that I'd always like to see. Just the Avengers vs X-Men, having that Phoenix Five just go all out. Right, well, we've sold everything. Why are you complaining? And having all the characters go in there and having it all fighting and just it was so cool in that line. And I just having the deaths as well. I wanted like impactful deaths, like Punisher.
Yeah.
It might not be impactful for other people, but it's impactful for me. Emma Frost just gone. Charles just gone. Who's going to be the new leader of the X-Men? It's not going to be bleeding Cyclops now because he's locked up. It's not going to be Emma Frost if she was going to turn coat. So they need a new leader, and yeah, it's just it leaves me with so many little like I've laid the seeds for so many little things in these last 3 phases that again I can just pluck all them and just go right. Here's the next load. Here's more things that you can do in that. So, yeah, I'm proud of that phase. I enjoyed that phase now.
Yeah, like everything was like constant, like connecting. Like it was like one huge story over 11 movies. So that's really cool. So yeah, I'm curious to see what both of us are gonna do in our next set if we do that, because like there's both of our stories are in very different places, and there's many different ways you could continue all that, and like it's gonna take a lot of time to figure that out because there's like again so much you can do.
Well, this is what I said. We'll just leave it another year. We're still doing this another year's time. We'll have more like phases down the year. Be all right. Be all good. Gives us a year to think and plan. Be all right.
I might actually have to jot some notes down now because I don't want to forget them when it comes time to do that. So
well, this is why my little where's he gone? There he is. My little book. I always save my little book. All my notes are in there and that lot. So
well, you have to get a new one now.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Now it's full. Bloody hell. But anyway, yes, that is the end of this live stream. The end of these 3 sets of Marvel phases between myself and Nate. You got anything coming up on the channel?
I'm in the middle of working on a video focused on Insomniac's Wolverine game.
Okay.
I'll just say the title. I've called it Insomniac's Wolverine Ties to a Greater Universe. So that kind of teases what it could be about. I'm hoping to have that by the end of this week or beginning of next week. I had a video Monday of me ranking the 2025 MCU releases by my excitement. So if you haven't seen that, then you can check that out. And yeah, just again, thanks for all the support and all of the new subscribers that have joined since my last few videos. It's great, and yeah, we're so close to getting monetized on my channel, so that's gonna be really cool. What about you?
Brilliant. Well, tonight we have another episode of Lego Avengers. We've just finished Lego Avengers, the first film, so we're continuing with that sort of thing. It doesn't. When I played this next set of like episode, this next level, it doesn't continue from that first Avengers film. I forgot that it actually jumps to Avengers Age of Ultron, which really ticked me off. So we will be making alterations to that in next episodes.
The way they start that game is so weird, where it's the opening to Age of Ultron and then it goes to the first Avengers movie. Like I never understood why they did that.
Well, it totally confused me as well now, because I'd finished like Avengers, then it loaded up with the Hydra lads seeing Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch. I'm like, hang on a minute, I'm sure that's not bleeding next. So that the level is played out in the next episode for tonight, and then after that, you can go back and then do it in the film order from the first Avengers onwards. So we will be doing that. I'm not having it start off like that because it was driving me nuts. And then obviously on this Friday, if anybody's seen the short, we did go to Leicester Comic Con the last Sunday, sorry. So we'll be having a video this Friday of chatting about what we got from Comic Con, what it was like this time, and just how fun it was, and how my boy was Captain America. So
nice.
yeah, check that out this Friday.
Well, that's a lot coming out, and we'll keep everyone updated. Next week, I think it's going to be one of our last ones, I think. So
yeah, I think so.
I've got an idea. We'll talk about it off camera, but we'll keep everyone updated for that. And I guess we will see everyone in the next live stream.
Yeah, see you all in a bit, guys. Thank you very much for joining.